All right, strategy number 4, create a library of tutorials. Why is this important? There are 3 reasons here. The first is you can do more with less. If you have a small support team, then having them spend all their time answering the same question over and over is just plain inefficient. If the support team can instead focus on building a library of tutorials and all of the staff know where to view those tutorials, then they can get the help they need on their own. The second reason is because it's a form of empowerment. It allows people to learn at their own pace and then refer back to the same resource in the future without having to rely on someone else. And I can say, I know there's a lot of folks here that don't feel comfortable asking the IT team for support if it's a question they've already asked in the past because it makes them feel stupid. And we never want to make our customers, our end users feel stupid. So having that library of tutorials and letting folks know where it is it's really empowering for them to own their own learning journey. Third, it's an important reminder. Sending staff to a shared library of tutorials reminds them that learning how to use the tools, the solutions that we've put in place is a shared responsibility and it's expected of them. So how do you make this happen? Well, mostly the support team needs to create written tutorials or do screen recordings that explain how to do common tasks using the various software solutions you've put in place. And then you have to post those to a place where everyone can access them. You can use tools like QuickTime on a Mac or Screencastify as an example. It's multi-platform and it's done in the browser. Both of these allow you to do screen recordings. Screencastify will allow you to do a screen recording and have your video in the bottom right-hand corner or some part of the screen so people can see you talking and hear you as well. This is there's a brief story share from what we do here at Whitby School. This is a screenshot of our internal knowledge base. You can see that there are articles on software we use like Veracross and Google and Zoom as well. This is a screenshot of a folder in Box where we've put video tutorials for Veracross that we made on our own in QuickTime. And if you look at the dates of some of these, you can see they date back quite a few years. Keep in mind that we made these before Veracross introduced Veracross University, which is a great feature. And now it really makes it so we don't need to be creating our own in-house too much because a lot of the content's already been created for us. All right, a few tips. Keep the videos as short as possible. It's really tough for someone to be watching a 10-minute video tutorial for something that actually takes a minute and a half to do once you've learned how to do it. It's better to have a series of short videos than one long video that tries to cover everything. We use software called Symbaloo to have shared bookmarks. And so if you make the location of the tutorials easy to access for everyone, like we do on Symbaloo, then folks always know where to go to access those tutorials. And we make Symbaloo the default landing page for not just students, but also staff as well. So every time you open up the browser, it takes you to Symbaloo, and you can see in this, there's an arrow pointing to Zendesk. Zendesk is the ticketing software we use that also hosts our knowledge base. Leverage your power users in making the tutorials. It doesn't always have to be the support team, the IT team at your school. If you've got power users that really know the software well, have them make it. Have them make tutorials. The day I first discovered a folder in Box of video tutorials on Veracross, I felt so elated and proud that people had embraced the idea of sharing their knowledge and their learning and had taken the initiative to make those tutorials. It was so heartwarming. You want to remind employees of the valuable resource regularly, and you want to make sure all new hires know about the library of tutorials, and more importantly, how to get there. You can send out links to the tutorials as often as possible so people get in the habit of going there. Here's an example from just a few weeks ago. This is an email where I was referring to earlier on in the presentation, where I discovered the feature of Zoom that allows you to only record a portion of your screen. I was so excited by that learning that I wanted to share it with all the staff in the school. So I quickly wrote this email and sent it out. And the part of this email that I want to bring your attention to is the fact that where I say I posted the tutorial in the knowledge base, and instead of sending a link directly to the tutorial, I'm sending a link to the knowledge base, a landing page, so you can see the other tutorials. Again, this is all this is all done very intentionally, because when people click on that link and they go to the landing page, they're like, oh, here's a tutorial on how to do X and Y. And I'm not even here for that right now, but I gotta remember to come back and read this. All right, this is the end of strategy number 4, to create a library of tutorials. The why is you can do more with less. It empowers people to learn at their own pace while also reminding them that learning is a shared responsibility. And the how is to create written tutorials or screen recordings and post them in a place that everyone can easily access. All right, strategy number 5, moving along. Share data and analytics on how the software is being used in your organization. Why is this important? Well, it sets the standard. Sharing the data provides objective metrics on how others are using the software. This functions as validation for those who are using the software, as well as it's setting the standard for those who aren't. So how do you make this happen? You share data in whole school meetings and departmental meetings or via all staff emails. This is a fun example that I'd like to share with you from Whidbey. I sent this email out last year when we hit the 11,000th, it's a hard number to say, ticket in Zendesk. And as I mentioned earlier, we use Zendesk as our software for ticketing at the school. And periodically, I like to send out emails like this that celebrate our use of the software for a variety of reasons, some of which I've already discussed. But in this software, I'm actually sharing data with the staff about their use of the software that helps the IT team support them better by telling them the number of tickets in the system, 11,000 tickets in the system. That's a big number. The funny thing about this was the 11,000th ticket was actually something to sneeze at. It was one of our teachers asking the facilities team for a box of tissues. Our facilities team also uses the ticketing system. But if you look in this email, you'll see that I've talked about how many tickets were submitted in the school year alone, what the year-over-year increase was. So this email is multifunctional on so many levels, and again, done with very intentionally. All right, some tips. Don't present too much information at once. Use the opportunity to highlight successes, draw conclusions, and/or provide insights, and make it fun, like in that example I gave you. All right, here's a review of strategy number 5, share data and analytics on how software is being used in your organization. The why is because sharing data on how people are using the software validates those who are using it and sets the standard for those who aren't. The how is to share key data points in whole school meetings, departmental meetings, or in email communications.